Sanibonani, Dumelang, hello everybody. Mama H here, and that of course means it's time for life sciences. So what are we looking at today? Well, we're focusing on human populations and interactions, and remember that this is a revision lesson. So we're going to be looking at keywords, content, skills, and we're going to be trying to assist you in terms of being prepared and not in a panic when it comes to tests and exams, which means that we're going to equip you with skills to answer the questions as well as some practice at actually using those skills. Now, in our last lesson, I went into a lot of detail on how to answer a multiple choice question, how to answer a paragraph question, etc. So we'll speed up that part of the lesson today, and we will simply try and focus on some more examples of the kinds of test questions that you must expect. So if we look at our mind map, looking at all the different aspects of population ecology, this particular lesson is going to focus on the various different interactions in the environment as well as human populations. And I told you last time that we must expect different kinds of questions to pop up in tests: multiple choice, terminology, paragraphs, and data response. So let's focus our attention now on multiple choice items. Now, do you remember the strategy that I taught you in our last lesson? Do you remember that for multiple choice, we used the strategy rescue? Let's remind ourselves very briefly of that strategy. Rescue involves read, eliminate, and select. We read the question, we eliminate the options that are immediately incorrect to us, then we go and select the option that we think best answers the question. We then check, so R-E-S, we check the answer, and you never leave a multiple choice question out because you have 25% chance of actually being correct. So let's apply the rescue strategy as we look at this particular question. So first of all, let's read it carefully. Which conditions would lead to an increase in the population? We've got food supply, predation, and disease. Now let's move into the eliminate. We want to look at an increase in population size. If food supply increases, yes, that would cause an increase in the population size. If predation increases, well, to me, that's going to cause a decrease. If disease decreased, our population would grow. So I'm going to eliminate this because apart from the fact that predation certainly doesn't increase the population size, it doesn't make sense. I'm going to eliminate A. What if the food supply increases? Yes, that is going to increase our population size. Predation decreases. That is going to increase population size. And disease increasing, decreasing, that is going to increase population size. So I'm not going to eliminate B at this point. A decrease in food supply, that's going to decrease my population size. An increase in predation is also going to decrease population size. An increase in disease, that one is definitely needing to be eliminated. decreased food supply. Decreased predation will increase the population size, increased disease will decrease, and so I've eliminated. Now I'm going to select that B is my answer. I'm going to check it. An increased food supply, a decreased predation, and a decrease in disease is definitely going to increase my population size. Do you see that it wasn't a case of just looking at the question and guessing one of the answers? We worked through a logical process to make sure we got to the right answer. Let's use our rescue strategy to read the question. At which point is the population growing most rapidly? Well, if we look, we've got A, it's growing quite slowly. B, it's growing very rapidly. C, it's going to start slowing down or decelerating. And D, it's going to fluctuate. So our answer here is B. It's growing most rapidly at point B. Which letter illustrates the influence of environmental resistance? Where are we seeing environmental resistance keeping our population stable? And in this case, we're looking at point A. Now, do you remember that we are also in section A of an exam paper going to encounter terminology questions, and they can come in two different formats. We can get terminology questions associated with columns, and we can get terminology questions where we're given a definition and we have to provide the term. So when you are looking at this kind of question, you apply the rescue strategy and you follow the instructions as I taught you in the last lesson. You make sure that you write the correct option down as you have been told in the instructions. So let's try these. A symbiotic relationship that benefits one organism and harms the other. Is it mutualism? Is it commensalism? Is it both mutualism and commensalism? Or is it neither or none? Well, if we've got the idea of benefiting one and harming the other, you remember the thumbs up, thumbs down? We're looking at something called parasitism. And so here, our answer is going to be none. What about a flea living on a dog? What do we call the flea? Is it the host? Is it the parasite? Is it both? Or is it none? Well, the flea is going to be doing the damage and getting the benefit. So therefore, it is the parasite, whilst the poor dog is being harmed, so it is the host. So if we go back to our question, we're going to here say B only. An impala that is hunted and killed by a lion, what do we call the impala? Is it the prey? Is it a heterotroph? Is it both? Or is it none? Well, here it's not just predator or prey. We now have a little bit of a complication. The impala is most definitely the prey and not the predator. The lion is the predator. So we know then that option A is correct. Now, option B talks about it being a heterotroph. Remember that all organisms are either autotrophs or heterotrophs. If they make their own food, they're autotrophs. If they eat other food, they're a heterotroph. Where does that put the impala? Well, the impala eats grass. and leaves and vegetation. So it is definitely a heterotroph. So in this case, we've got the answer both A and B. That's our answer there. I think we need to possibly take a break. So when we come back, we can look at some more different kinds of terminology questions, definition and term. Why don't you get a piece of paper and a pen and see if you can answer the questions before I give you the answer. So during this break, run and get some pen and paper, and I'll see you in a bit.